Hi, my name's Glenn Hustleman. Just making this video for the free accounting software users to show you some more information about revising an activity statement, and in particular how to correct the transactions when doing that. So I've already done a video on revising the activity statement, and we had this original July activity statement and did a revision here. So we just go into the revised activity statement. We can see that the original activity statement had had these grayed out transactions on it, and there was this transaction that was missed, so we added that transaction in, and it's and then revised and regenerated the transactions for this activity statement. Now I want to show you another thing about what to do if, let's say for example, this transaction, this $55 one here, this wasn't missed but it was incorrect. Let's say it had the GST claimed on it, but it was actually a GST free purchase. So I can't double click on it over here because this is disabled, this row. So I'll actually go back to the original FAS and double click on it here. You could also go into it through the other purchases worksheet as well. Now, just to point out, and as I have in another video, if we were to just change it to a GST free purchase and try to hit save, the software is going to protect the information so that we are maintaining that list of transactions on the FAS, and it will always add up to what was actually lodged. We won't be in a situation where we're scratching our head wondering or spending hours looking for the reason why the numbers changed. So just changing that back to the correct tax code. Now there's, I guess, two ways to correct this transaction. One way is to completely reverse it and then add in the corrected transaction. So you could use this copy to new. In fact, I'll show you how to do it. You just click copy to new, whack in a negative there, hit save. In fact, you know what, put in a comment so that you know what you're doing. Reversing the transaction because it should not have claimed GST. Okay, save that. Then click copy to new again, take out the negative and say some description like corrected transaction to record GST free purchase. Okay, so in this case then we put the GST free purchase tax code and hit save. Now going back to the activity statement list, we've got the original activity statement and the revised one. Of course, the original activity statement does not change, it's still pointing to that original transaction. On the revised activity statement, we can see there is the original transaction, and we can click this button, regenerate transactions, to bring in those new transactions. So there we go, we've got the $55 being reversed and then the GST free purchase being recorded. Now that is one way to correct a erroneous transaction that's on the activity statement. I'll just show you another one as well. So firstly, I'm going to delete these transactions. We'll do that by removing them from the activity statement. First of all, going to the purchases worksheet, and send to trash. Send to trash. Okay. So now we're back to the original state where we've got the revised BAS, which hasn't yet been lodged, and the original BAS. Now, I'll just make this correction again and show you another way to do it. So double click on the transaction to go into the transaction, and in this case I'm not going to create two new transactions. What I'm going to do is actually add two new lines onto this transaction to actually make that correction. So we'll put minus 55 other expenses, GC taxable purchase, and then we'll just say reverse claim for GST should be GST free. Then on the next one we put $55 other expenses and GST free purchase, and in GST free. Alright, so I've sort of been a bit loose with the language and saying that the transaction is linked to the BAS, but to be technically correct, it's not actually the transaction, it's the transaction line. So this line is linked to the BAS. Okay. These two new lines I've just added are not on any BAS yet. So it has to be the transaction line that gets linked to the BAS, because the tax code is on the line. So there can be GST not applicable things, or that don't actually get linked to the BAS, or even payroll related things that go on a maybe perhaps monthly installment activity statement. So they can actually be on a different BAS. And these two items are not yet on a BAS, so they'll be on a different BAS because they'll be on the revised BAS. So let me just save that. Then I go back to the activity statement list. In fact, if we look at the original activity statement, we can see that that transaction line is still there, unchanged. We go to the revised activity statement, and that is still unchanged until we hit this regenerate transactions line or button. Now we see the two new transaction lines coming into the BAS here. So we have the original one, the reversal, and the new correct GST free line. So there you go. That's two ways to correct a transaction that was incorrect on a revised BAS. I hope the video has been useful to you, and thanks for watching.